Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Annie Margarita Yang joining us live from the US, and she is a best-selling author of the 5-Day Job Search. Welcome to the show, Annie.
Jay, thank you so much for inviting me here. I am so excited to share with you guys today how to craft a personal brand that's totally irresistible to employers based on tips from my book, The 5-Day Job Search. And if you guys listen all the way until the very end, you'll learn how to get a 10% off discount on a signed paperback copy. So stick until the very end.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that, Annie, and you are welcome to the show. Very well, and not just in you're welcome to India and in this online form, and not just in India, but a lot of people, because the topic is such, a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are talking about, crafting a personal brand that gets you hired. So my first question to you, Annie, is here. We talk about personal branding for people who are a bit established. They hire agencies, they do so much of work to build a personal brand for themselves. That happens mostly in the corporate. How do you build a personal brand when you are yourself just beginning to look out for a job? How does that work? Help us personal branding in that sense of the word.
Well, let me tell you this. People think personal brand is something that you have to pay a professional to do. It's something you have to take a course on. It must be so difficult. But the fact is, you already have a personal brand. Everyone, regardless of what they've already put online or haven't put online, already has a brand. They just don't know it yet. So if you're not online at all, you don't have any social profiles, your brand is, I don't have a brand. And if you're the kind of person, what you post online is, you went to Starbucks yesterday and what you ate for dinner last night, your brand is, this is what I ate for dinner last night brand. So your brand is basically how other people perceive you, how other people view you. You don't really get to say what other people say about you. What you can do is you can control what you put out online, what you curate. And if you keep putting out things that make you seen as an expert at your work, right? If that's what you keep posting about, your brand is, wow, this guy must be so good at his job. That's what it is.
Okay. So is there more to it beyond posting some images or some video? How do
Yes.
is there a step by step? You have written a book, the 5-Day Job Search media kit. You will be obviously sharing about that. So tell us about your book. Tell us about, how does one continue to get hired before even, you have to really work
Before you
hard.
even apply, let me tell you how
Apply.
you can get hired.
that would be
You
that
can
would be
get
utopia.
you can get opportunities without even applying for it, because I get opportunities all the time without ever applying. How you do this is, I actually have a checklist in this book, and there's also a free resource on my site related to this as well. The number one thing I think that people can start with is they can get a really good, impressive headshot. Now, please do not take out your iPhone and go out and take a headshot of yourself with your iPhone. Do not tell me that you're going to a wedding in 2 weeks and, can I just use a nice wedding photo because I'm already dressed up in a suit? Is that okay? No. That's not the image that you want to portray. What you want to do is you actually want to search for the best headshot photographer in your city. And I also want you to book a same-day appointment at the hair salon as the day you're shooting, and also book an appointment with a makeup artist. So all the work that goes into looking great in your headshot is really about all the work that goes before that. That means getting a good night's sleep for 3 nights in a row, drinking water so you're hydrated and your skin looks great, having a fresh haircut along with a fresh blowout, using a makeup artist so that your makeup is great for the camera, because just because you can do your makeup for daily life doesn't mean your makeup actually looks great in front of the camera. That's different. And then the last 20% is actually the photographer's work. So that's the first step that anyone can do. I admit this is something here in the US, I'm not sure about the India part, but in the US, it's quite expensive. You're looking at about $500, but this is I'd have to say the best $500 I had ever spent in the beginning of my career when I was trying to get myself established and create my personal brand.
Right, right, Annie. So let me ask you this, especially from a newcomer's perspective. One is that, okay, I posted a very nice picture, I've done whatever I could. How do I make this message reach to the potential employers? That is where those are the people who are going to, be more interested in what I can do for them, and apart from my friends. So how does
Apart
that
from your
work?
face, the next thing is you would have to, what I encourage people to do is, well, people have imposter syndrome. They always think that there's always someone else who's better than them. And they always think, okay, maybe I'm not a good candidate. And they lack confidence. So, really, what this process is about gaining confidence in yourself that you are the right candidate. So, what I encourage you to do is to sign up for the free trial of LinkedIn Premium for 30 days. And you go and search for everyone who has the title that you want. So, for example, if you want the title hotel manager, on LinkedIn, you search the title hotel manager to find out everyone who has a title right now. And you look at the profiles. What did they do well? What did they not? What stood out? What impressed you? Take notes, write it all down. And then you copy the same for yourself, but in your own style. Like, for example, if they wrote a headline that you liked, you're like, that was pretty good. Let me try that for myself, but in your own way. If you like the fact that their banner used a photo of their city, you might want to do the same. Or if you like the fact that their banner was branded in a color that matched their headshot, that might be another style that you might like. So these little things contribute to how an employer would view you. Definitely your headline, your banner, and definitely the bio. The bio is really important, even if you are just fresh out of college and getting an entry-level job.
Right, right, Annie. Let's look at this personal branding thing from and the looking out for a job in three different aspects. One is the starting point. You are just out of your college or business school, or business school generally they have their campus recruitment and all, but from straight way out of your college. And then there is this somebody who's in the middle age segment, 35 to 40, and then there is somebody who is around say 50 plus.
Mhm.
How do they look at this branding? Because at every stage someone will find some disadvantage in you. Nowadays people don't look at much advantage, they always find disadvantage. For a newcomer they will say this guy has no experience. For a middle size for a middle aged person they will say, okay, this guy is already one industry, how does he shift sectors? So that will be difficult, so you are just bound to one industry. You need a lot of convincing. The third is that somebody who is at 50 plus age, they will say this guy will demand a lot of money and we can hire three people with his, in his salary. How do you then build up a brand which is also calibrated to the market realities? How do we do that?
Let me tell you this. In my experience of landing a job offer in 3 days, and also I keep getting multiple repeated offers just thrown at me without applying. Like literally 6 months ago, someone offered me a CFO position that I turned down because I wasn't interested. I don't think that's the case. If you have a really good personal brand, people are jumping at you. They're not looking at like, well, you don't have experience or you're too old because you're 50 years old. If you're really good at crafting this, you can do it. So again, what I recommend you do is you look at where you want to go. So don't focus on where you are now. It doesn't matter where you are now. What matters is where you want to go. So I'm going to go back to the hotel manager example because I personally did research into this. If you look at a hotel manager, how long does it take to become one if you're just a front desk agent right now? It's a 10-year process. What kind of promotions are required to get there along the way? When I looked at it, there were like 5 different supervisory promotions just to eventually become a hotel manager. Now, that's not an instant process, right? So what people have to start is wherever you are now, you look at what's the next title that you want to target. Let's say the next title from a front desk agent to get there is the front desk supervisor. Well, then Instead, you start looking at front desk supervisor roles. You Google those listings, right? You take a look. What are they really looking for in an applicant? You analyze them. And in fact, I have a secret way that I've been teaching my clients right now how to use ChatGPT to analyze these job listings so that you can become an ideal candidate. And also, you have to analyze existing people on LinkedIn who are front desk supervisors to see what are they doing so well, what are they not, and how can I be a step above them so that I'm seen as the best candidate for this job. It's all about the research.
It's all about the research. So let me ask you about your building of a personal brand. When you said that you keep on getting job offers, you have actually done a bit of your hard work early on. You are born to Chinese immigrant parents, and that means obviously you have had to have gone through all that difficult times. That happens with a lot of people who are moving from different places, especially from this side of the world, if somebody's parents have moved on. So, but what intrigued me was that you were getting accounting offers, whereas you did not have that experience in accounting, and then that led to your understanding of this whole financial line. So, tell us about it. What did you do? How did you build that persona, that personal branding, that people were offering you jobs or are not still offering, even though at that point in time you did not have that particular specialization? Here people with specialization are struggling, or maybe they are not doing it right. I want to understand, what did you do right? What did you do something that made you so successful?
Yeah, I always wondered. I always thought, wait, I'm not the qualified one. In fact, I've had people tell me, you're not qualified for this job. Like they straight up told me that. And then I always wondered, why am I the one getting this job versus someone who has the accounting degree? And I have personally questioned that, and I've had imposter syndrome over it. And what I've come to realize is it's all about how I've spun the narrative and how I tell my story. For instance, something that really caught people's eye when I was applying for these accounting positions wasn't even the fact of my lack of accounting degree. They looked at the bottom, right above where I put my education. The line right above that said, author of 1001 Ways to Save Money. And when they saw
Indeed.
that, they, instead of like looking at it and focusing, why don't you have an accounting degree? Instead, when I went into these interviews, they were like, you're an author? How did you write a book? And then I said, it's literally just a list. Anyone can make a list of 1,000 ways to do something. It wasn't really a big deal. I had to explain to these people, it's just a very funny, short read. It's not what you think it is. But they were still mesmerized with the fact that I wrote a book because they thought, well, writing a book must be so hard. And if you're able to write a book, it means you're able to commit to doing something difficult. And that's the kind of quality we're looking for in a job candidate. We don't care for your lack of degree. We like the fact that you can set a goal and you can just go and do it. So that is the first way that I actually got my foot in the door in terms of these accounting jobs. Anyone can write a book, though. Actually, in the 5-day job search itself, I actually teach the same system that I learned to write a book. Because what I did was I took a course. I actually took a course on how to write a book in 40 hours. And all I did was I followed their system. That's why I didn't think it was a big deal.
Now I get it. You see, nowadays there are so many book writers, and the biggest thing they are trying to do with that book is personal branding, so
That's
that
what
it
it is.
establishes you as an authority in your field. You did that quite some time back, and your potential employers were smart people. They could understand that this person is very dependable and someone who can show up at the right time. About and be responsible about money. So that was good. This is something good. Are there, what have you dealt with in your book, 5-day job search? Can you actually get 5 day job in just 5 days time? I keep on reading things, and even top managers, they find it difficult to have a job in the 6 months period also, especially in these times when there have been a lot of layoffs and all these things going on, great resignation, quiet quitting. A lot of people are wanting to get into workforce. A lot of people are wanting to go out of the workforce. It's a very difficult world out there, if I see it from my point of view.
Well, the thing is, what I talk about in my book is actually for all three of those job searches where I land them in a week, I applied to 50 a day. So my plan was to I was really desperate actually back then because I was willing to do anything. And if people are going to reject me, I'm okay with that because I really wanted to make my mark. And I said, I'm going to do anything, even if it takes applying 50 jobs a day. So in the first job search, I said, I'm going to keep applying to 50 jobs a day until I land a job. Even if I get an interview, I don't consider that a job. I'm not going to stop. So even if I have an interview that day, 50 jobs a day, I'm going to just keep going. And what I found is the wider you cast your net, the increase in your chance of like landing a job. When I actually ask people who are struggling to land a job and they tell me, oh, I've been applying and looking for 6 months, and you ask them, well, how many have you applied to? You really press them. Like, don't just actually believe what they're telling you. Like, press them. How many did you apply to? They go like 20. Wait, 20 a day or 20 in 6 months? 20 in 6 months. No, that's too few. No. I actually had a friend. It's the same like in dating. Everyone understands dating. Dating is also a numbers game. So the same applies in looking for a job. I had a friend who told me that she's been struggling to find a boyfriend, a long-term boyfriend, for 6 years. And then I asked her, well, how many dates did you go on last year? I'm pressing her. She wants me to believe her story. I'm like, no, tell me the truth. How many did you go on? She went on 6 dates in the last year. I said, no, girlfriend, you cannot land a boyfriend with only 6 dates. If I were her, I would go on maybe 3 dates a week, honestly, because when you do 3 dates a week over the course of a year, that's 150. There's no way you can't find a good guy in 150. Same thing applies to looking for a job.
Absolutely, absolutely. You talked about building a personal brand. Fine, I build a personal brand, and then I find that okay, what I built is not working, or maybe that I need to change gears. So how it's like your portfolio, investment portfolio, you calibrate it according to the changing market conditions, or maybe the way you want to build it up as per your needs. So what is the time period that I relook at my personal branding, because it can get jaded, it can fade, it can have the different perspective is needed. So what is the best time to relook at your personal brand? 6 months, 1 year, 5 years? What's the time?
No, I actually think about my personal brand literally every day. Every day, what's on my mind is how can I improve my personal brand? Now, I won't have an answer necessarily every day, but that is literally the question I ask myself. And when you ask yourself good questions, your brain will start coming up with answers. You might look for something to improve. Like when I started my personal brand, I would look, what can I improve? Maybe it's with my YouTube channel. A lot of my branding was built with my YouTube channel. And from my first video, it was a terrible video, but I would look at that and I would say, how can I improve it from what I've just done? I gave it my all. Okay, I gave it my best shot, but things can still be improved. And I would look at the video and I would say, maybe I need better equipment. I need better lighting. Maybe I need a better microphone. Maybe I can frame it better. Maybe I'm too close to the camera. I can sit back a bit. Oh, wait, my makeup needs to be better. It looks a little like someone told me your lip gloss be popping over there and it's a little distracting. Oh my gosh, I need better lipstick. And then I also looked at the way I dressed. I noticed that some of the colors I wore made my skin look like I look sick. It made my skin look green or something. And I thought maybe I should find out what colors make my skin glow in front of the camera. So for me, it was a constant thing. Over the last 8 years while I've built my brand, I keep looking for little things here and there to improve. It's not something I look at once a year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's get back to this book. For people who would be more interested in the book, what is it there in the book? What are the answers? What are the solutions that they will find in this book of yours?
This book is a lot of mindset. I would say what people didn't expect is they thought they would just get straight tactical step 1, step 2, step 3. There's that as well in the book, but there's a lot of mindset. I teach you how to overcome your limiting beliefs, such as if you say, I can't do it, or I'm not confident, or if I don't get this job, I'm going to be homeless. I'm desperate. I need something to pay my bills. And that's the problem, because I think a lot of people, when they look for a job, they get into this mindset, oh my God, if I don't get a job, I'm going to end up homeless. How will I feed myself? And when you go into an interview, finally, what happens? The employer who's interviewing you is like, something's off about this person. This person's just a little bit too needy. I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is. And the real fact is, it's your energy.
Right.
People can sense this certain desperation you have, and no one likes that. Someone who's confident walks in and says, I want to be here. I don't need to be here. I want to be here. Versus someone who says, I need to be here. I'm willing to do anything. Why do I want this job? Because I need the money. That's not attractive at all. So what I do is I teach you how to step out of that mindset, because it can be a vicious cycle.
Right. So where do one get this book from? Amazon, obviously, or are there other places one can get this book?
Honestly, yes, Amazon is where I put it. I have Googled this book. I don't even know where it is. I have found it on Walmart. I have found it on Barnes & Noble. I see it on Books A Million. So wherever you find on Google to buy the book, it's available. But I'm also selling it on my website. So if you go on annieyangfinancial.com with the coupon code KAJ10, you can get a 10% off. And if you live in the United States, it'll also come with free domestic shipping. On top of that, for a limited time only, the books will be personally signed by me. So you have to get it real fast.
Absolutely. Do you have a copy of the book with you?
Yes, I have it right here. Here it is. And it'll be like this, personally signed.
Wonderful. For people who want to learn more from you, about directly from you, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you? You are a go-to finance guru for millennials, so I'm sure a lot of people also want to have suggestions, not only about job search, but a lot of other things related to their work-related areas.
The best way to connect with me is on LinkedIn. You can go on linkedin.com/in/Annie Yang Financial. Or you can also email me. My email address is annie@annieyangfinancial.com. Again, though, maybe you don't need personal help from me because, hey, I do charge money to give away personal help. I'm going to offer a lot of free content through my YouTube channel, which you can also just search on YouTube for Annie Margarita Yang, and you'll find a lot of it there.
Absolutely. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much, Ajay, for this interview today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.